very long.
Trump's like, come tell me more about Jesus. I'd love to know more about Jesus. The girls gone Bible. These are the ones, guys.
I want a man 6'4", 6'2" is fine. Or like a retired NBA player.
NBA player?
I just want somebody, like I want his life to be the Bible. Like I just want somebody who's so obsessed with the Bible and so obsessed with Jesus and who understands and like we said, like who can teach us things.
I want like 6'4". 6'2" is fine. He can be 6'2". God wants me to have a retired NBA player, 6'4". That's what God wants for them. Check this out, guys. What do you know? Acting like complete on camera. Wait.
Everything you got for some. Oh, guys, come on. Come on. I changed my tune on. I don't do this. No, I don't do this type of stuff anymore. I have a religious podcast. Whoa, Rika. Rika. Go ahead. You know what I'm saying? Everything.
Listen again at the end, guys.
Rika. Go ahead. You know what I'm saying? Whoa, Rika. Anymore. I have a religious podcast. Whoa, Rika.
I don't do this stuff anymore. I have a religious podcast. Now let's listen to this from the start again.
And I just want to say that video was taken before Girls Gone Bible was even created. It was when...
Oh, really, Angela? Because the outfit you're wearing in that video is the same outfit you're wearing on the first episode of Girls Gone Bible. Here, let's switch to the video to get a comparison really quick. Here's the video. Same dress, same outfits on both of
And she's literally talking about how she has a religious podcast.
them. Or what about the screenshot of these texts of Nicole asking you if you're working May 24th of 2023? Oh yeah, like 2 weeks after you posted your first podcast episode, right? And you said you were working as an escort that night. Wait, but I don't think you mentioned that in your video. I wonder why.
I want to mention that is because I think it's so important for people to know our process in Girls Gone Bible. And
Oh, right, because you guys were escorts, and I have receipts to prove it, and you would probably be still doing that if your podcast never took off and got viral. And now you shame women that dress immodestly because you made it, and we haven't.
And look, these chicks saw a gap in the market and they were like, if we get two really attractive girls to do a podcast where they're talking about the Bible, that's going to go off. You're going to get all these simps. There's a huge problem with simping in the conservative movement, guys, and with Christian guys and simping. They see a moderately pretty girl who says moderately based things, even if they don't believe it, and it's clear. And even if below the surface they're just feminists, and they just jump on it.
Ari and Ange keep lying because the real people you have hurt, the real lives you have ruined and tried to run away from are slowly creeping back to you.
Them doing a Bible verse at a Trump rally.
God, we thank you. We thank you that your will always...
Shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH, SHAMAIWAN, Hashem, Rakwakwadosh. Double honors to the elders and apostles, the great millstone, Shalom to mighty Akim, Wakwathim, who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this final captivity, as well as a speck of bread that may look like the other nations, but are actually Yasharala. This is Brother Kawakub coming at you with no lesson. And today's lesson, I just thought of it. Fuck. Okay. Give me one moment. I need to find this. I'm about to unplug my thing so I can find it easier. Okay, shit. What the fuck does this word mean? Bear with me one moment. I'm trying to... Where's the... excessive? Well, I'll use this as well. So, first things first, Colossians chapter 3, verse 5. Mortify yourself... Let me start over. Colossians chapter 3, verse 5. Mortify therefore your members which are upon the earth, fornication, uncleanliness, inordinate affection, evil, concupiscence. Bear with me one moment.
Concupiscence.
Okay, so slacky about that. You learn something new every day. But anyway, over here, let's start over again. Once again, slakia. Colossians chapter 3, verse 5. Mortify therefore your members which are upon the earth, fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, evil, concupiscence, and covetousness, which is idolatry. So over here, the thing in inordinate affection, which let me just go back here to get the definition of this. Concupiscence, an intense often disordered desire or longing, particularly the innate human inclination towards sin, sensuous gratification, and selfish and earthly desires. So actually, this is actually pretty fitting for what I just showed you at the beginning, where where you have these people that are so fixated, solely fixated on these women as their idols. And when I say idols, this is a form of idolatry. This is a form of painting them out to be gods. How is that the case? Because you have to understand that people, they whatever someone makes their number one priority, that is basically their god. All right, so as a result of that, if you're not like constantly praying, if you're not constantly reading the scriptures, if you're not constantly doing something to glorify Yahawadah in some way, shape, or form, then is that your god, or is your god the drugs that you're smoking, in the alcohol that you're drinking, or these bitches that you're simping for? Okay, so that's all these different things that people make their god, they make their number one priority. Where if you, a perfect example, this reminds me of a perfect example. So basically, a brother of mine, he had a dream where it was like time to go. It was like something happened where it was time to go. I think it was like involving end times and stuff like that. He basically said, man, I saw you, he saw me. Basically, he said, like, we were like getting ready to go. We had to leave. We had to pack up our stuff and leave. And he said, hey, you know what I saw in the dream, I'm just gonna tell my part, because I think that's the best way for me, and I'm okay with sharing that. What happened, what he said, what he saw me doing, he said he saw me like trying to look for a bag to put my PS5 in so I could do it, but so I could leave with it. But the problem was that the PS5 wasn't fitting, because I obviously have, like, we all have bags that we can just put the stuff in, or the original box that it was in before, or something like that, where you can just stuff it in there, everything's good, and you just leave. But for some reason he said I couldn't do it. It was like there was something that was stopping me from being able to seal up the thing fully. Like it just did not want to fit. So as a result of that, that's basically like making me realize and making me think that, okay, you know what, I need to actually think that, or I need to actually come to the realization that is this more important to me than Yahawadah, like, is my, because I did say before in a previous video, like a long ass time ago, how getting this PS5 was one of the greatest blessings I remember from Yahawadah, because I didn't buy it, and I obviously didn't steal it. Okay, I definitely didn't steal it. I'm just letting you know that I won it from a tournament. So I was able to get it completely for free. Okay, I was in a gaming tournament circuit, and I worked my ass off for an entire month just so that I could be good enough, and I got third out of thousands of people that participated. It was top 4, and I got third place, and I was one of the 4 people that got a PS5 for free. They mailed it to me and everything and stuff like that. I was like, call them Yahawadah, because I wasn't gonna be able to pay for it myself, because I money was tight at the time. So I was like, oh, hey, fuck, I'm not gonna be able to do it, so I'm gonna work my ass off for this. And lo and behold, the Lord blessed me. The Lord allowed me to be able to do this, and of course I was extremely grateful, because like, this is one of these things, Slakia, I'm getting off topic, but I'm trying to give you the context so you can understand just how meaningful it was for me at the time, because I'm over here thinking like the PS5 is something that I've been wanting. I always loved Sony and all that stuff like that. Fuck Sony now, but for in terms of like things that I wanted at the time, like how I felt. I was like, man, I really want, like, this is something that I really want, like one of my top priorities at the time. And the Lord allowed me to get it, called YAHAWAH, which basically means all praise unto Yahweh, and is in the name of his son Yahawashi. And the Lord allowed me to get it, but the thing is that for me, I'm over here enjoying it, but am I prioritizing Yahawashi, which even then, what I started to do, I kind of want to bring up too much information, but I'm gonna dive into a bit of my personal life. One way that I limit myself in order to make sure to myself, maybe not to Yahawashi, but to myself, that Yahawashi is my number one priority above that PS5, is that I always do these lessons before I play that game. So anytime I want to play my game, play on the PS5 or whatever, I make sure, okay, no matter what I did, no matter how busy I get or some shit like that, I make sure, okay, let me make a video first, like that's my number one priority, and then I can go over here and mess with that and do all that stuff. That's something that's self-imposed. Nobody told me, all right, because maybe when you were younger, you might have had your parents say, "Oh, you're not allowed to play games until you do some homework. You finish your homework. You're not allowed to do X, Y, and Z until you do this and a third." Or maybe you didn't have any of those restrictions. But anyway, for me personally, that's something that I self-imposed on myself. Nobody told me. No brother told me. No one said that. They barely even knew. All right. They barely even knew about the stuff, and I'm only telling you this for edification's sake, because I'm giving you an example on how what you're allowed to have, hobbies and personal likes and stuff like that. You're allowed to say, "Oh, I like playing Xbox, PlayStation, or some shit like that." You're allowed to have those things, but before you do that, are you able to just say, okay, you know what, let me self-impose this limitation, let me self-impose this restriction of, let me serve Yahawashi first before my day starts, or before I finish all my obligations elsewhere and all this stuff, before my free time actually starts. Let me do this first, and then I can go to whatever bullshit that I like. And that's the thing that we need to ingrain in ourselves, where Yahawashi is the first thing, that should be the first thing that we think about before we just do whatever we want. So that's just something that I'm not telling you to do that. I'm not telling you that you have to do that. I'm not telling you that this is a law or whatever. This is not a law, and this is just something that I personally do myself, because I heard I heard that dream that brother had, and he made me come to that realization that, okay, you know what, I do spend too much time on this PS5, so as a result of that, I'm going to lessen my time on it by not allowing myself to go and play on it the first thing that I do when I wake up, or the first thing I do when I have free time, or the first thing when I because obviously sometimes when something happens, obviously when you have free time, you want to go and do the stuff that you want to do, but your free time your Yahawashi should be the number one thing. You should want to serve and please Yahawashi above all else. All right, but of course, it doesn't mean fuck up your life and all that stuff just for the sake of it. But sometimes, maybe. Anyway, the main point, you get the point. All right. So let's continue on with these precepts, where, again, the thing here was in this instance. Let me go back to the video. In this instance, these women who have such a huge following, they become a major figurehead in a conservative Christian space, whatever, where they they're doing all this stuff to make these guys simp for them, say, oh yeah, we love these women, we love these people, like they're such great role models, quote unquote role models, when no, what they're talking about is, or not necessarily what they're talking about. They might be saying stuff that are good, I guess, maybe, I don't know, probably not, but the main thing is that these women have become role models, which for these people, where they are, I don't know. I'm not gonna. Okay, I won't say what they are doing because I didn't watch your thing. But you basically get the point that they become basically faces, public faces, and stuff like that. In terms of Christian conservatism. Now, continuing on, Proverbs 16 verse 32. He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth the spirit than he that taketh the city. Are you able to control yourself? Have that demonstrate that self-control of, okay, you know what, I like this, or I want this, or something is making me, or something is telling me or pushing me to do a certain thing. I'm going to refrain from doing that because that is not pleasing unto Yahawadah. Let's also get this. I believe it's, okay, never mind, then I won't believe it, I'll just read it. 1 Corinthians 6 verse 12, all things are lawful unto me, but all things are not expedient. All things are lawful for me, but I will not be brought under the power of any. Basically, all things that are not explicitly stated as sin, they are lawful, as in, like, okay, well, you can play video games. Like, video games is not, does not break any law and stuff like that. It doesn't say thou shalt not play video games or some shit like that. So as a result of that, that's okay and that's lawful, but is that expedient? Like, just in general, it's not expedient for you to play games in general. So you're allowed to do it, but if it gets in the way of your salvation, if it gets in the way of serving Yahawadah, let's actually get that in I think it's Matthew 6. I think it's Matthew 6.
Which is the system that real estate agents use in order to get information on a person based on their race, or in this case.
Wait, it was I think it's Maine.
The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania makes it very easy to file a complaint against their license.
Okay, here, Mark chapter 9, verse 43. And if thy hand offend thee, cut it off. It is better for thee to enter into life maimed than having two hands to go into hell, into the fire that never shall be quenched. So basically, the thing here is that basically it is better for you to cut off whatever thing is getting in the way of your salvation, getting in the way of you serving Yahawadah, if it gets to that point. Like, for example, if playing video games for me, for example, had gotten to the point where I just completely stopped making videos, or I don't make videos for a whole ass year or something like that, or a month or whatever period of time, then that's when it's like, okay, you know what, video games are getting to the point where they are a hindrance to me. They stop me from actively, serving Yahawadah. So as a result of that, I have to cut this out from my life. And that even goes for this as well, where if you think that this impairs your judgment, or like, say for example, if you have a wife and you're watching these two bitches instead, okay, because it's just like, what are you doing where you're watching these women because they're attractive, because they're talking about the Bible, because they fit a certain type or whatever that pleases you? Why are you wasting your time throwing money at them when you could be doing literally anything else? Like, for example, serving Yahawadah. All right. So, and that's why it's very hard for me to really have any type of pity, because I understand the whole, I don't know, what's it called, parasocial shit or whatever, but at the same, especially with how lonely this generation of people in general are. I think it's people in general. I think it's just men. But the main thing is how, is that if you actually did believe, if you were actually a believer, you wouldn't let anything get in the way of you and YAHAWAH. So YAHAWAH should be the number one thing which fulfills your your need for connection type shit and stuff like that. Next, Matthew chapter 26 verse 41. Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. All right, so the thing here is that we want to make sure that we abstain from temptation, from temptation, and walk through spirit, not through flesh. Okay, and the spirit, talking at the spirit, the flesh is what makes you want to go and do things that are contrary to it. And speaking of flesh, I find it incredibly funny that these two women, or maybe just this one woman, I don't know, she was basically an escort, I guess, and she's doing this podcast thing. Like, I guess, like, that's pretty funny to me. But anyway, continuing on, James chapter 1 verse 23. For if any be a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass. And basically that's what's going on here, where you have people that like to speak on things rather than actually partaking in it. And how is it that you were, you lie, by the way, and say that, oh well, I was doing this before, when apparently it was found out that she was doing it during, or I guess during to be fair to her, as far as what I heard, as far as what we heard in that video, it was during the starting area where she was actively doing it, and then maybe she stopped, or maybe she didn't stop, maybe, because I don't know any of that, of the more details. All we do know is that apparently she was still doing it, and at the beginning, she was still doing it at the beginning, as her source of income. So again, that goes back into the whole doer of the word rather than hearer of the word, not a doer. Next, Isaiah chapter 5 verse 23, we justify the wicked for reward and take away the righteousness of the righteous from him. And basically, like, another thing is that I understand that there are people that repent and return to YAHAWASHI, but how is it that the people that not repent, how is it that some of these figureheads, all right, are not repented? They actively, because it's not, and I'm not talking about her specifically, I'm talking about in general, where you have that one pastor that was using his position to molest some woman or some girl or some shit like that, and then you have this woman who was / is unconfirmed an escort, and then it's just like you have more and more people whom are have questionable morals and questionable decisions that they do in an obscure time period. All right. The next thing, I find it incredibly dishonest that you also have people in Christianity that have respective persons as well, because one thing I saw was there was this one person who can shed tears and cry for some Christian dude. What's that one guy's name? Charlie Kirk. All right, for his opinions and stuff like that. Even though I don't think that certain people or all of them knew. I think it's just really just all about showing that, oh, I'm a part of this community, so let me gain more following because we all love this guy, even though some people probably didn't really care, but they can shed tears for him. But then what about all the quote unquote Christian Jakes that die? What about all the Christian Jakes that have all these stuff? All right, people always want to shed tears for Esau Edom, but they don't ever want to shed tears for Jake. All right, ain't no crying when George Floyd, I forgot the other names, but there's a bunch of, what's that one woman's name that threw the boiling water? I think she did throw the boiling water as per what some sources did say, because I think there was one or two perspectives where it did seem like she was throwing the water at them, but I don't know. But basically, you get the point. There are multiple different people, multiple different names. Unfortunately, I only remember one name because it's a lot to take. It's a lot to remember, and I'm not even trying to pretend to say, I care about all these people and stuff like that. Generally, I do care, but at the same time, I'm not going to pretend like these people were such great people. A lot of them, I acknowledge that some of these people definitely deserved things that happened to them. Maybe not in terms of what happened right then and there, but in terms of like generally the lives that they lived, they probably did deserve it in some way, shape, or form. As per what is to be expected. Anyway, again, I'm not trying to say this isn't like, okay, well, they're justified in what happened. Obviously, police brutality is a serious thing, and we don't want that to happen to us. But for some of these people, when certain things happen to them, you can't always just look at it. You can't always just side with Jake just simply because it's Jake and whatnot. All right, because we don't have the full story. Anyway, continuing on. John chapter 8 verse 44. But hold on, let me just add also, this is not no justification to say, then they did deserve to die. They this, that, they're the third, whatever, stuff like that. No, I'm not saying that whole racist stuff. I'm looking at things objectively, and I mean to always say whomever is actually in the wrong is in the wrong, and whomever is actually in the right is in the right. It's not a matter of look at the skin color whom the person is, and even then regardless of the skin color, that does not determine who is right and who's wrong. Okay, police brutality is police brutality, and going against righteousness is going against righteousness. Okay, which I'm not talking about. And when I say righteousness, I'm not talking about the police. Anyway, continuing on. John 8 verse 44. Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. And basically here, with what's that dude's name? Bishop T.D. Snakes. All right, with all these major Christian figureheads, are all of them wicked? Do they all have skeletons in their closet? Do they all partake in some sort of evil that we don't know about? All right. So as a result of that, that's what making me raise my eyebrow and say like, okay, well, does that mean that all these Christians have some sort of skeletons in their closet, or they're hiding something where, well, we know about Bishop T.D. Snakes. Do we know what did Joel Osteen do? What did Well, we do know about Creflo Dollar, maybe not enough, but know a bit. We know about these women. We know about that one pastor that got locked up or whatever, or not locked up, but got exposed and stuff like that. That old guy, I forgot his name, but there's a multiple different of these people, and I'm not saying that to generalize. Well, yes, I am kind of generalizing, because like, is this the face of Christian leadership? These are the leaders for Christianity and stuff like that. All right. Anyway, so with that, I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahawadah, Shemi Yahawashi, Hashem, Kwakwadah, double honors to the elders and apostles, the great millstone, above the ball, and Shalom.